24
24th of September, Media Center of Ukraine is working. My name is Svetlana Nichiparenko, and we will be talking about the project of civil protection, and we will talk about its content. We will talk to Viktor Vitovetskyi, Director of the Department for Organization of Civil Protection Measures of the State Emergency Service of Ukraine. Hello. So the rescue officer of a community, is it some kind of new, as I understand, it's a new notion that is introduced in the State Emergency Services. What does this project implement? What is its content? Yes, this is a relatively new project. It was initiated by the Ministry of the Internal Affairs, and in a short period of time, we were able to achieve many things, and the team of the Emergency State Services managed to implement many things within the frame of this project. And I will try to make familiar the viewers with this project. So as of today, the Rescue Officer project is aiming at creating a safe environment, and we can talk about it in detail. So what is the essence of this project? Every community has to have an officer, a rescue officer, who will be taking care of the civil protection on the territory of this community. Of course, we have really different communities in our country, as by the territory, by the technical load, and I need to say that in some of the communities there can be one rescue officer, and who will be taking care of and implementing tasks within the frame of these communities, and also there is oblast centers and regional centers, and that are overloaded in terms of technogenic facilities, and there will be a few officers, rescue officers, that will be helping the community to develop certain solutions of civil protection, and also in investigation of fires, and we will be talking about it later in detail. As of today, the project is already involving 1,227 communities. Rescue officers that are already working in the communities has underwent training in Lviv State National University of Civil Protection, and they already have necessary skills, and their function is change is quite significant. As of today, the officers that worked in our system have gained principally, fundamentally new knowledge, and this is, among others, the question of demining, non-technical demining of territories, because the rescue officer will be capable to identify the IEDs, and of course, if the situation will be difficult, he will be able to in short notice, he will be able to call a team, an emergency team. However, the initial task for him is to deal initially with the danger. As of right now, a component of using the drones is getting spread, and they recommended themselves from a positive side in terms of fighting fires, when one needs to understand what is the scale of the fire, and if additional forces are required from the state emergency services. Beside that, the rescue officer will be able to identify the existence or absence of radioactive threats and later chemical threats. As of today, the corresponding knowledge is already provided during the training, and it is also supported by corresponding devices and tools so that they have the possibility to identify such threats. As for the tasks of the rescue officer, I didn't have a lot of time to outline this, and this is a cooperation and with the body of the local authorities, and this component has become really significant during the war, and this is also a question of shelters, and these measures and other measures in civil protection, they require a certain development and preparation, and how to do it correctly, how to get ready, how to be prepared, and to have a high chance of success. That's where the rescue officer will be a first aid to the authorities of community, and of course there is also a component of control. About fire safety, civil safety. I will give you an example with the rescue officers during the functioning of this project. Already 16,000 inspections of protection facilities has been completed, and it is our routine everyday work. It is conducted in accordance with the annual plan, and these things they influence the overall state of the protection facilities. And I think that it's quite a voluminous work that our colleagues are doing. And as an example, I would like to also say that our colleagues took part in elimination of emergencies in 2009 times. And majority of those are the consequences of the combat activity. Also, they took part in the investigation of 18,000 fires, and this is just a few indicators of our officers' work during the time of its existence of this project. We can see on the slide what our rescue officers are supplied with. As of today, this is a certain kit of equipment and means that are aimed to help them to do their job. And this is means that provide access to informational systems, information materials, like, for example, sources of water, civil protection facilities, other informational systems that are used. As we can see as well, other tools, like, for example, the drones, the instrument of biochemical reconnaissance, the protection suits, and firefighting means, and so on. As of today, crews of the rescue crews are supplied with the firefighting trucks, SUVs, and we find a lot of understanding from the part of the communities who are really who have really helped us to acquire those trucks. This shows that the communities are ready and are eager to develop the civil protection in their communities. And taking into account the war that's going on, it will help to shorten the time of reaction to these risks. As for the number of the rescue officers in the regions, as you can see, as a pilot map, as of today, we have such numbers as of today. However, they will be corrected as a result of our project, because one of the things we're doing is we're evaluating the load, the risks of technical nature disasters. That's why I'm sure the number of the rescue officers can change from a region to a region, and we have some developments in this regard. However, I would like to say that that the authorities of the communities are perceiving the project quite positively, and the number of feedback is intensive, is quite significant, and I would really like to ask and I would even ask to increase its volume, because it helps us at this stage to shorten the time of realization of this project. And a few numbers here. The results you can see on the slide. I have already touched upon them, and I would also like to say that the identification of the IEDs is 1,042 were identified, and there are events that imply work, direct work in the regions, because this is a important question for the territorial communities and the higher bodies of authorities, higher levels. And the last row, but not less in significance, is the help to the local authorities in civil protection. The question of preparation, the question of shelters. This is very important right now, the shelters. The creation of material reserves, creation of local firefighting protection. The question of creation of the units of voluntary firefighting protection. And it's been implementing for some time now, and we do have great success in this. And I'm sure that after finishing the combat activities, after our victory, the question of volunteer work will acquire new volumes, new intensity, and we will be this link in this chain that will help to understand how this system is supposed to work, and how to make these units work in the communities. In general, it is in short about the project. I will be glad to answer a question. Why the necessity of such project emerged? What system is it replacing by itself? What are the results of what are the results and consequences you are expecting? The preconditions for creation of this project were the military activity. When the combat activities commenced, we were observing a certain loss at the local levels, because education system of the state is aimed at the annually developed plans, and however the change of the positions of the people in the local authority bodies, people that are working in the local administrations, they are rotating much more faster than on the higher levels. And in our view, in our opinion, during the war, such an approach is non-viable. And in order to provide additional informational resource and methodological resource to the authorities, to the local administrations. This project was developed to cover this. And of course, it's work with population, with people, because the people require constant information provision, explanation, and training. And if after the implementation of this project, such a communication happens much more easily. As for this, the range of the risks that the war has brought, we need to talk about this too, because the system of the civil protection is going to react to any kind of risk, but the question is the time of reaction. So the component regarding the IED identification, unfortunately, the government doesn't have a system of demining in its structure, and after finding a suspicious item, people can wait for hours until the team, the diffusing team comes from the center. And this is where our specialists come into play, and they can react in a short notice, in a short notice, and also those teams that were working before, they were not really very well familiar with these types of the work. So the speed of reaction to the threats, and it's not only about the mines, it's also about radiological, chemical threats, about providing information to the population regarding safety questions, actions during the emergency situations. That's why, and a huge segment of work of the rescue officers near the front lines is the evacuation of population, and it's a big volume of work, and the local authorities are also involved in this, and I have to say thank you to everybody who is involved in these processes, because this process is really painful when a person is moving out of their housing. It's very hard morally, physically, and other hardships are following. And here, the emergency state officers, rescue officers, act as psychologists. Despite the fact that we have our own team of psychologists in the emergency service, there is enough work for everybody. So the representative of the emergency state service, will it be a totally new person or somebody familiar to the locals? It depends. One of the things that the emergency state service implemented is the work of the paperwork about the norms of the work of the rescue officer, and one of the things that we were putting focus on is the comfortable conditions of work for these officers, and this question is also implies that there will be no additional financial load for the local communities, and we are taking into account this wish, and the key factor is to basically take into account the opinion of the local authorities and provide provision of comfortable conditions for the everyday routine job, and there is no need to additionally influence the situation. Do I understand correctly? The inspectors, the fire inspectors, were working before, right? So they were controlling the implementation of certain requirements, and will they be replaced by the rescue officers, or maybe there was a requalification? Yes. The officers from the state inspection and control, they worked and they underwent certain training courses, and the officers that were taking care of the civil protection, exclusively they were requalified into rescue officers, and this is a logical decision that comes out of the fact that they were already working in this adjacent domain, and in general, if inspector was perceived as a punishing body, so to speak, or inspection body, our task is to change such perception from the point of view of a civilian or local authorities, to see a colleague, to see a helper, an aid, not an inspection service. And that's where we put a lot of effort right now. I would like to also, however, I would like to say that certain functionality in terms of control will be kept in our project. What I'm talking about is the state control over the decrees of the government of Ukraine. We remember that when the protection facilities were inspected in 2024, it was regular events, and our whole engineering component were working in those. As of today, we already transitioned to a more routinely way of working, and by the requirements of people of local communities, and in accordance with the government of Ukraine, we're conducting out of schedule checks or inspections. However, it can be more like an exclusion from the rules, because in their majority, an officer, a rescue officer, is a person that helps coordinate colleagues that are working on the level of local authorities. Thank you for your explanation, and the Media Center of Ukraine will continue its work in 1400. We will be talking about the 5th summit of Crimea platform. We will be hearing the challenges to security of Ukraine. Stay with us.